We've got late breaking news as Nexo offices have been raided by the police. We also have XRP and XLM holders out there digesting the CPI data that just released, leading to an even greater rally of our two favorites on this channel. Does this put more pressure on Jerome Powell and the Fed to defer to a 25 basis point hit rather than the 50 that we've been accustomed to lately? And I'm going to sneak in a couple juicy stories for you. Pay attention to one of my drawings. Sorry, no green screen today, except for the heat map in front of me right now. It's storming out there pretty bad, and my doggies like to hang out with me in the studio, so I got to keep the door open for them to walk in and out. Bitcoin sitting at 18,674. It did break 19,000 earlier. That was great to see. ETH 1416. Both of them are up big. You've got XRP sitting at 37.2 and XLM above 8 cents sitting at 8.1. Look at this, everyone. Crypto exchange blockchain.com slashes headcount for the second time, lays off 28% of its employees. Listen to this. They also laid off 100 contract employees, making up around 80% of the total contractors. Why are they doing this? There are a bunch of crypto companies out there that were blowing through money while things are booming, not thinking that there would ever be bad times. Well, blockchain's one of them, as now they have to let go of even more staff. CEO of blockchain.com, Peter Smith, explains, returning to profitability is our single best strategy in this environment, and it's necessary to reduce our costs to achieve this in 2023. They're talking about operating expenses, everyone. And let's give a big round of applause. Miss Universe El Salvador walks the stage holding a giant Bitcoin staff. I do not care if you're not a fan of Bitcoin. Look what they're doing on the public stage. Listen to this statement. You don't need a sash to walk around dressed like cash, like El Salvador, said the pageant's announcer. Yep, that's right. El Salvador is diving in balls deep, representing Bitcoin. And let's be honest here. Good news happens to Bitcoin. Good publicity for Bitcoin is good for the rest of the market, because remember, a lot of miners out there can't make money at these prices. So if Bitcoin keeps going on the way up, like we've seen with recent CPI data, that means you have people actually being able to pay back their loans. Speaking of paying back their loans, Nexo raided. And don't worry, we're going to get to the XRP XLM juicy action. But yes, Nexo office is reportedly raided by police in Bulgaria. The investigators have alleged that Nexo is involved in money laundering and violating global financial sanctions against Russia. Troubled cryptocurrency lender Nexo is facing more pressure from regulators as its offices have been reportedly raided as part of an international investigation. A group of prosecutors, investigators, and foreign agents searches of Nexo offices in the Bulgarian capital. This happened today, everyone, and here's the tweet from Nexo talking about they have done the best that they can. Despite being fully automated, Nexo has 30 plus AML compliance officers to ensure that we retain real-time pictures of our clients, which includes adverse media publications, OFAC sanction lists, and source and flow of funds. Crypto is actually terrible for illicit purposes. Using chain analysis, for example, we know the history of the asset while being deposited and have a good understanding of the address of which it's drawn. This is more difficult with fiat and requires other technologies. After the beginning of the horrible war in Ukraine, the first order of business was to help fundraising for those affected. The second was, of course, to comply with sanctions, and Nexo took one of the most aggressive approaches. So I wonder who told the Bulgarians to raid the Nexo. Yep, everyone. Nexo hit by a flood of withdrawals following the office raid over money laundering. Here is a list of some of those withdrawals, and as always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. And now let's move on to what you want to hear about XRP and XLM continuing the rally over the last several days, and CPI data fueling a further move. Right here is where the announcement was. That's the price point here, and you can see since then we have moved up quite substantially. The move for XLM looks very similar. As you can see, the action of the announcement was right here. There was a little bit of ping pong going on, but since then, yep, the markets are on the way up. Very nice to see, isn't it, everyone? And the markets right now are looking at this and pricing in action, thinking, hey, maybe Jerome Powell and the Fed are going to come at us with a 25 basis point hit instead of a 50. And if we zoom out a little bit with XLM, you could see the movement over these last several days has been quite strong. This is a good move here. This is positive action, everyone. Let's zoom out a little bit and go to the 3-month right here. You can see that we have made up about 1 month's worth of pain right here with XLM. And now let's move it over to XRP. Zoomed out, you can see same thing. We made up about a month worth of losses right here. So essentially what we've done right now is erase the last CPI data's effect on the market. Good news is maybe we are pricing in the bottom. So the market is definitely optimistic about the current trend of CPI data. But now let's talk about whether we're going to be seeing a 25 or a 50 basis point hit coming from Jerome Powell and the Fed in about 2 weeks. Now let's have an honest and open conversation about Jerome Powell and the Fed. Now remember, a bunch of us out there, you guys remember the videos, right? We talked about this a long time ago saying, hey, stop with the stimmy check, stop with all the stimulus programs. We have to stop that. Inflation is just going to rip us. And the Fed was like, yo, inflation's transitory. Don't worry. As fast as it goes up, it's going to go away. It's going to be gone soon enough. The Fed was behind. They were behind. That is fact, everyone. The other thing that people are thinking of is, hey, wait a minute. Did the Fed go too aggressive with their 75s and then 50 basis point hits? I don't know. Now what we're looking at, what we're thinking is, hey, this is putting pressure on Jerome Powell and the Fed to come out with a 25 basis point hike. I'm honestly still leaning towards the 50. The reason I'm still leaning towards the 50 is think of what came out data-wise today. That was at 6.5. We're still way far away from the 2.0 goal. And remember, you're gonna have the Chinese economy that's just opening up now, creating to more of a supply and demand imbalance. Because remember, that's what the Fed's trying to do. But the mere fact that we're seeing Bitcoin break above 19,000, the fact that you're seeing XLM, XRP, and our other favorite cryptos out there rally over these last several days is telling us that maybe the worst is behind us. I don't want to sit here and give everyone hopium and say, yes, guys, the bottom is in, because we still have several big factors. But think about the Nexo story that I broke. That had no effect on the price, and that's great news. You know as well as I do that if this Nexo story were to come out a lot closer to when the FTX story came out, that would have sent the markets tanking even further, kind of shaking the whole idea of confidence in the market. Same thing with the blockchain.com layoffs, right? Same thing. That would have totally shocked the markets about a month ago. But now the markets seem to be stronger. There definitely seems to be more confidence in the air with our favorite cryptos out there. And hats off to old Miss El Salvador out there representing the crypto community, holding the Bitcoin staff. You may not be a friend of Bitcoin, but remember, good news for Bitcoin means good news for the rest of the crypto market. So honestly, from me to you, thank you. I do greatly appreciate it. Now, until more news breaks, I'm going to leave you with this video right here, which is just above the shadow of my doggy sleeping here on the floor with me because the storms are going on. Until more news breaks, you cool cats, have a great rest of your day.